We might just have to hold it until we can figure it out, inshallah.
If you don't touch it, there you go.
It's alive right now. Oh, خلاص يشتغل now. كتابة. Hey man, technical difficulties. What can we do? Man, listen, we're not taking no stupid questions tonight. Yesterday, all I had to eat was some chicken fingers that the masjid gave to us. And today, all I had was sandwiches. So I'm not happy. Tomorrow, we have to cook real food. Maybe I can be happy again. Chicken fingers is not. You can't go all day long just eating chicken fingers.
Chicken fingers taste good if you eat it maybe
but
one time. That's it.
It's not gonna keep you alive. That's it. Even in the salat, man, I'm like this, you know. Alright, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. Alright, so we're on chapter 69, Bab Man Adha Jarahu Hatta Yakhruj. Alright, so inshallah what we're going to do today, we have 2 chapters left, and we're done with all the chapters of the neighbors. So we're going to finish these up today, inshallah. And we're done. And then we get on to other stuff. Because we saw the importance of the being righteous to the parents, and we saw the importance of the neighbors, and you see like a vast chunk of the book was dedicated just to that alone. So now, inshallah, we go on to other issues, inshallah. Alright. So bab man adha jarahu hatta yakhruj. So whoever causes harm to his neighbor until it causes him to leave his house. Like he leaves his house because he can't put up with the harm from his neighbor. So this is hadith number 127. You there? Got it? حدثنا عصام ابن خالد قال حدثنا أرطاة ابن المنذر قال سمعت يعني أبا عامر الحمصي عبد الله قال كان ثوبان رضي الله عنه يقول ما من رجلين يتصارمان فوق 3 أيام. We'll just go over this little by little so I don't have to keep turning back. So here at Thawban, he reported that he said, now this is a statement of Thawban. This is not a statement of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is important to understand when we go back to the chain of narration. Alright, so Thawban said that two men, alright, ma min rajulaini, what? Yatasaraman. What does that mean? Yatasaraman.
Does it mean shake hands?
No.
By each other? Kind of, you know, like issues with each other, you know.
Yeah, because sarama, it means qata'a. So yatasaraman, it means yataqata'an. Like basically they make hijrah of each other. They stop talking to each other. Alright, so they stop, you know, because one person, they got angry at each other, maybe they had a disagreement, and that's it, now they're not talking to each other. So he said, Ma min rajulaini yatasaraman, that they don't cut off, you know, their connections with each other, fawqa 3 ayam, more than 3 days. You have 3 days. 3 days, and we'll go over the hadith in a second. فَيَحْلِكُ أَحَدَهُمَا. Alright. فَمَاتَ. So one of them, he dies while they're still what? Not talking. وَهُمْ عَلَى ذَلِكَ مِنَ الْمُصَارَمَةِ. So one of them dies and they're still not talking to each other. They're still cut off from each other. إِلَّا حَلَكَ جَمِيعًا. Except for they will both be what? Does this mean that they'll both be destroyed? That they're going to be destroyed? Because he said, إِلَّا حَلَكَ جَمِيعًا. So they're both going to be destroyed.
No.
Huh? يعني هو معرض على الحلاك. That means that this is something that how you say that in English? Like he's putting himself in the position of being destroyed. You know, if Allah wants to do that, He'll do it. If He wants to forgive them, He forgives them. But they're putting themselves in a position of what? Of being destroyed. Alright. He said, وَمَا مِن جَارٍ. He said, and there's not a neighbor. يَظْلِمُ جَارَهُ وَيَقْهَرَهُ. Alright, that he oppresses his neighbor. وَيَقْهَرَهُ. What is يَقْهَرَهُ? What does that mean? Huh? No. يعني قهر رجل رجلا بمعنى سلط عليه بالظلم. سلط عليه بالظلم. Like he does so much oppression, and he takes control of the person. This is قهره, you know. Can also mean غلبه. Alright, but so he just like his oppression is so much that he just overpowers him and overtakes him. So he said, حتى يحمله على ذلك. على أن يخرج من منزله إلا حلك. So he said that he continues to oppress him and oppress him and oppress him until it causes them to what? He said, حتى يحمله ذلك على أن يخرج من منزله. Till he has to, like, he can't take the oppression no more. So he does what? He has to leave his house. He leaves his house. إلا حلك. So this person is also putting himself in a position of what? Being destroyed. Bring this. Oh, okay, I'm against the wall. I like upstairs better, man.
I don't want.
Nah, because upstairs I'm closer, I'm on the wall. So I can't do this. I can't do the, you know. But now I can do this now. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Alright, so anyways. So, this is a statement by who?
Oh, Abi Amir.
No. Who's the Sahabi?
Abi Amir.
No.
No. Salban.
Yeah.
So sorry, I was reading.
You eat chicken fingers.
No, I didn't eat. I mean, half a burger. That's what I ate.
This is the world we live in. So this is a statement of Thoban. It's not a statement of the messenger. All the chains of narrations going back to the Prophet ﷺ are weak. But this chain of narration going back to Thoban, which is mawquf, is sahih. Sahih. But there's no authentic chain of narration going back to the Prophet. Now, as far as the person cutting off another person, that's a hadith of Ayyub. Alright, so this is the hadith, not Ayyub, I'm sorry, Abi Ayyub. So he said, an Abi Ayyub رضي الله عنه قال أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا يحل لمسلم أن يحجر what? أخاه فوق ثلاثة أيام. فوق ثلاثة, well he said فوق ثلاثة. Alright, يلتقيان فيصد هذا ويصد هذا وخيرهما الذي يبدأ بالسلام. So what does this hadith mean? Anybody? He said, لا يحل لمسلم أن يحجر أخاه فوق ثلاث. It is not permissible. Now this is a statement of the Prophet ﷺ, and this is authentic. This is muttafaqun alayh. This is Bukhari and Muslim. He said it's not permissible for one Muslim to avoid and completely cut off his Muslim brother for more than 3 days. يلتقيان, that they meet together. فيصد هذا. يصد هذا, it means that this one turns his cheek like this. He doesn't want to give him salams. ويصد هذا, and this one what? He turns his cheek. So each one is looking away. Nobody wants to give each other salams. You know, everybody wants, you know, the other person to say, I'm sorry, right? So he said, يصد هذا ويصد هذا وخيرهما, and the best of them is what? الذي يبدأ بالسلام. The best of them is the one who begins with the salam. Just says assalamu alaikum and gets the conversation, gets the talking going again. Now obviously this is for from the affairs of the dunya. Alright, this is for the affairs of the dunya. It's not for affairs of deen. Alright, because if it's for the issues of the deen, that's a whole nother issue. But for affairs of the dunya, you have a disagreement or you have an argument with your brother over money, over something over the dunya. Maybe it could be a father and a son even, because the son wants to marry this girl, the father doesn't want him to marry this girl. We hear this a lot in Yemen, right? So these are big problems. You know, it could be the girl and the mother, you know. Mothers annoying the girls. You got to be like this. You got to be like this, and you know. So the point is, but it doesn't. It's not just to a brother. It could be even family. But the point is, it's always over the dunya. You see these types of issues, and then they stop talking to each other, and it's not permissible to do this for more than 3 days. And why do you think that the Prophet ﷺ gave them 3 days?
Oh, it's probably because it gives them enough time to calm down.
Well, a true believer, how can he carry like, imagine we have an issue over the dunya, and we're brothers. How can a believer carry in his chest hatred for another believer for more than 3 days over something of the dunya? Something's wrong, right? There's some sickness in the heart. Because this is not deen. Like, deen is a whole other issue. If it's an issue of deen and you're calling to batil, I will cut you off until you make tawbah. You understand? I'm not giving you salams. If you die, I'm not going to your janazah, as long as you continue to call to that misguidance. But that's deen. But we're talking about the dunya. There's no way that a Muslim will cut off his Muslim brother over something of the dunya and carry that hatred beyond 3 days. 3 days should be sufficient for any believer to, like, go home, eat, sit with his family, and forget, let it just get out of his mind. And most of the times, if you have an argument with a brother and you're really angry, it's hard to even the next day, you just walk up to him and be like, man, that was stupid. And then you give him salams and it's over, because you realize it's just over the night. We're just thinking overnight. But imagine now, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and you're still carrying this anger and hatred around. It's a diseased heart, akhi,
When you say the hadith you just mentioned about someone stops talking to his brother for 3 days, does it mean like Muslim brother, like me and Saif, or like
his Muslim brother,
or like blood brother?
No, it's Muslim.
Okay.
Muslim brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. No, with the brother, you got family ties. That's a whole nother thing. Now, this is talking about the Muslims. Your brother. Cutting them off just because we had a disagreement. You get people, akhi, wallahi. They'll have a disagreement and an issue in fiqh. That's an issue. It's not an issue of ijtihad, but it's an issue of, I have this dalil and you have this dalil. You say that the hadith that I have is, not authentic, and I say that it is. And then they get angry and they argue until what? Yeah, and then they stop talking over a fiqh issue. Or because this sheikh spoke about this sheikh, and you have to take whatever my sheikh says. No, akhi, I don't. Yeah, I take evidence. I don't take what your sheikh says unless you present the evidence to me. But people get in arguments. Brothers have come to fist fights over issues like this. In Yemen, fist fights over just no, he's okay. No, he's a hizbi. The next thing boxing, pay-per-view, MMA fight starts. So, akhi, this is foolish, akhi. If it's an issue of the deen, like this person is clearly calling the misguidance, that's a whole other issue. And he's beyond advice. You've given him advice, and he just keeps going, and he rejects the advice, and that person is cut off, and there's no itham. But as far as like this other stuff, masa'al al-ijtihadiyya, there's masa'al that is actually really ikhtilaf, these fiqh issues and things like this. Nah, you cutting a brother off over this, or cutting them off over money. That's foolish. It's foolish, and it shows a diseased heart. Because that means that everything's personal. You're taking stuff personal. How are you taking things personal? It ain't nothing personal. It's deen. It's supposed to be about deen. It's not, why are you so important, or why you think that you're so important that, that now you have to cut people off because they don't agree with you? Who are you? This is about getting to the truth and about making sure that the truth gets told. Your personal feelings does not, not saying that, we go out to hurt people's feelings or not, whatnot, but we don't, you have to put the deen over whatever feelings you have. So 3 days, you got 3 days to make up. You don't go over 3 days. Anything above 3 days, then you're sinful. You're falling into sin. And we see this, wallahi. We see brothers now, they cut the brother off for years. And I've seen it where brothers, they had an issue with a brother, and they cut him off. And he makes tawbah. And guess what? They still won't give him salams. Even after he made tawbah. Even after he said, I was wrong. This is a sickness in the hearts, man. This is because people, they still got that jahiliyyah overpowering their hearts. And Islam hasn't, they really haven't gotten the tarbiyat of Islamiyah. They might have gone and sat with ulama. But there's a difference between sitting with a sheikh and really, really benefiting and getting that tarbiyah from the sheikh. It's two different things. A lot of people, anybody can go sit with a sheikh. A taxi driver can go sit with a sheikh. You know, when Sheikh Muhammad ibn Adam, rahimahullah, is teaching in the haram, or any of the ulama were teaching in the haram, the taxi drivers go and sit, they see the sitting with the sheikh, and they go sit down with him when he's teaching Bukhari. Does that make the taxi driver what? An alim? Talib al-ilm? No. Even...
There was a brother, he was going around saying he's talib ilm because he read a couple of the Islam QA articles. Now he's going out saying he's a talib ilm.
No. I mean, akhi, in Damaj, the Damajis, the farmers, they pray with us at Maghrib, and they sit in the class. Well, I mean, you know, they probably benefit a lot more than these jokers in the dawah right now. Well, they probably have much more knowledge, but the thing is, it's not just about sitting with the sheikh. It's about truly benefiting and getting the knowledge and getting the tarbiyah. And most people are not getting the tarbiyah, so they come back to America. Yeah, they memorize a lot of hadith. Yeah, they understand a bit of tafsir. Yeah, they can speak the Arabic language. But yeah, they still have all that jahiliyyah in their heart. And one little problem, one little disagreement with a brother, they're ready to cut them off, and, you know, we're not talking until the day of judgment type thing. And that's wrong. And we see this all the time. Like all the time. You can go around to every single Salafi masjid in America, and you will see this. You will see this. Two brothers with the same aqidah calling to the same thing, and they won't talk to each other because of what? This person took from that sheikh, and this person took from that sheikh. Akhi, come on. Again, it's about the haqq. It's not about your feelings. It's not about, you know, all of us can be wrong. I'm wrong way more than I'm wrong a lot more than I'm right, probably a lot of times. All of us can be wrong. And whenever you have a disagreement with a brother, you go back and you look and say, let me look at it from his perspective. Let me think. Let me see how he's looking at it, because I might be wrong. But you got to put arrogance to the side, and you got to put ego to the side. Even if somebody approaches you in a rude manner and says something about you, you know, in a rude way, but it might be true. And you still got to go back and look at it and say, hey, you might be angry because the guy approached you in a rude manner and told the truth about you. You might want to be angry, and shaitan is going to get all up in your ear. But if you go back home and you sit down and you think about what he said about you, then you look at yourself and you say, you know what? He's right, though. He's right. He's rude, but he's right. And then you can go back and tell him the next day, hey, you know, what you said about me is true. And I thank you for your advice, but next time try to do it in a better manner. And give him advice. You know, but you got to put ego to the side, man. The ego and all this foolishness, this big-headedness, and I can't be wrong, and this is beneath me type of attitude, that's jahiliyyah. It's jahiliyyah. That's going to get a lot of people, you know, probably punished in the hellfire. They keep going like that. It's no joke. You're playing with Allah's deen, akhi. This is amana. It's amana. This ain't a privilege. This ain't like some type of right that we were born with. Something that, you know, Allah gave us this deen because there's something special about us. Akhi, most of us come from the worst backgrounds. And if it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised us up with this deen. If we didn't have this deen, where would we be? Where? Let's look at the people around you. Look at the people you grew up around. And look at where they're at. And look at what they're falling into. You know, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raised you up with this deen, so be thankful. You know, stop all this personal garbage. Alright, the last hadith in this is chapter number 70. Bab Jar al-Yahudi. Alright, and this is talking about that the person has a neighbor who is a Jew. Alright, so this one is hadith number 128. حدثنا Abu Nu'aym, and this is Fadl ibn Amr. Al-Fadl ibn Amr. قال حدثنا Bashir ibn Salman. And some of the different books they say Sulaiman, but the correct one is Bashir ibn Salman. And Mujahid قال كنت عند عبد الله ابن عمرو رضي الله عنهما وغلامه يسلخ شاة فقال يا غلام إذا فرغت فابدأ بجارنا اليهودي فقال رجل من القوم اليهودي أصلحك الله قال إني سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوصي بالجار حتى خشينا أن رأينا أنه سيورثه.
Is it N or O?
إيش؟
Is it N or O?
What are you talking about?
Khashina O.
Khashina. No, Khashina O.
I
said N.
You said N.
Khashina O. Ra'ina. أنه سيورثه. Alright, so this is reported an Abdullah ibn Amr radiallahu anhuma. He said is ghulam. We talked about this before. The ghulam what? No. Huh? Ghulam. What is a ghulam?
Young boy about to reach manhood.
About to reach puberty.
Puberty, like puberty. That's right.
Manhood. He's about to reach puberty.
In Islam, when you reach puberty, he's considered a man.
He's considered baligh.
Mm.
I wouldn't say that he's like reached a state of rajula, you know, but he's baligh.
Mm.
When he starts to carry like his responsibilities, then he's a male, but he becomes a man when he starts to carry his responsibilities. As long as he's still relying on his parents for food and relying on everybody else, and he's just baligh. He's reached the age of puberty. Huh? Huh? ويعني محارج من أي ناحية إيش يكون؟
هانيبال.
ها؟
Said Hannibal?
No, لا.
إيش؟ Hannibal.
No, I think it was like Hanabil.
Oh, you thought that said honey bun?
I want one now.
That says Hannibal.
Let's get some.
Did you say honey bun? Oh, what did you say? Hannibal. Oh, okay. I thought you said honey bun.
No, honey bun.
All right, so you say, yeah, ghulam. All right, young boy, or whatever. إذا فرغت. All right, first off, he said, وغلامه يسلخ شاة. What does that mean? يسلخ شاة.
يمشي.
Huh?
يعني يصلح معناته يمشي.
Yeah, يخرج الجلد من اللحم. يخرج الجلد من اللحم. Because after you slaughter the sheep, you have to take what? First off, you take the guts out, you take the skin off. All right. So this is salacha. All right. He's taking the skin off. He said, when you finish with that, فإذا فرغت, when you finish, فابدأ بجارنا اليهودي. He said, as soon as you finish, then begin with our Jewish neighbor. So فقال رجل, and a man from amongst the people said, Yehudi? He said, you're going to start with the Jew? He's like surprised, right? And he said, أصلحك الله. May Allah rectify you. Because why are you going to start with why are you going to start with that? He said, قال إني سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يوصي بالجار. He said, I heard the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, advise the people with the rights of the neighbor. حتى خشينا and أو رئينا, sorry. So until we feared or we saw that he was going to inherit from us. That he was going to be made a person who inherits from us. And this hadith is authentic. This is how authentic. So it means like what? That the rights of the neighbor is, it doesn't matter what the religion of the person is. If he's your neighbor, he has rights over you. No matter what the religion is. And you should still try to do your best to even a kafir, akhi, if you oppress a kafir and he raises his hands up, and I'm talking about he asks Allah, he doesn't ask Jesus, he doesn't ask nobody else, he asks Allah, to destroy you, I'd be afraid that dua would be answered. Because again, we're Muslims, we don't oppress nobody. We don't oppress anybody. We give everybody their rights. And the neighbor has the rights no matter what he is. Well, no matter what religion is, we don't oppress them. We don't trample on people's rights. Whatever they do to us, that's on them. You see the worst of all neighbors are the neighbors that run the people out of their homes, right? Like what we're seeing nowadays, what we saw in Damascus, what you see now, what you saw in Syria, and what you see right now going on in Palestine. Look at their neighbors, running them out of their homes. They're the most evil of all neighbors. The Muslims always gave these Jews their respect, and gave them a place to stay and a place of peace and safety. But you see what happens, how they return the favor. They return the favor by running their neighbors out of the home. We don't do that. These kuffar, the Yahud and all that, that's how they do. That's how they repay people. They repay people by what? Bloodshed and running them out of their homes. We don't do that. We're Muslims, we have honor. We don't act like a fool. So let them act like a fool. Let them do what they do. But we're going to continue to, alhamdulillah, give people their rights. But when people stand up and, trample on our rights and try to fight against us, we got to do what we got to do, right? Well, first, see if there's any questions, and then.
I need to get the chair.
Huh?
في كثير فوق.
You And
Well, I don't know what we were talking about yesterday, but until now, YouTube has not let the live chat go. You know, it's like the video's still under review. Y'all gonna get us blocked, man. No
I think
more.
it was maybe on the Congo.
No more. No more Ya'juj and Ma'juj conversation.
Oh, the polar bears and the igloos. Mass murderers hiding in igloos with the fishing.
Hole in the ice.
And a sea lion. And a penguin.
Coca-Cola's card.
He said, Abu Saif, what are your thoughts on King Salman Sultan, who supposedly went into space and claims that he saw that the earth was round, which he conveyed? Yeah. Well, first off, what do you mean by space? I mean, nobody's gone into space. And if you're talking about going to space that you left the stratosphere and you've gone out of this area of the world, then that's impossible. And he's lying then. He's lying, you know. What, he's working for NASA. NASA's a bunch of liars, akhi. So I mean, he was working with the kuffar, and he says that he went to space. Akhi, don't take his word for it. Who is he? You know, Sheikh bin Baz there, he was on the opinion that the earth was flat until this man came and said this. But you got to understand another thing too. Look at the windows. First off, these rockets have never gone into space. Have you ever watched any of these rocket launches before?
So maybe like a 2-second, like 5-second clips, but it wasn't like.
Every single rocket launch, they go up, and then they go like this. Where do they go?
في فيديوهات يعني ناس فرنج فيديوهات من جهة ثانية يعني يوريك من وين هو ينزل.
Yeah, they go off to some island somewhere. They're not going into space. These rocket launches have a whole nother purpose in mind. And they're not taking those satellites, they're not going up to space, they're not doing all those satellites, they send those satellites up on balloons. You can go find that on the internet. They got videos of that where they sent the satellites up from Antarctica. This is probably going to get this video taken down. Right now, we're going to have to start going live on BitChute now after this one, man. SubhanAllah. We're going to have to find another, or Rumble or something. Like, we're going to have to find another platform to start going live on now. You guys are, but ain't nobody going to space, man. And Shaykh Hiti, rahimahullah, he refuted that when he did the tips in Adwa al-Bayan. And he refuted that hardcore. They've never gone to space, they never gone to the moon. And all of these space people, if you go, and here's a good, you know, here's a good, what we call this, project or homework for you guys. Go in and type in, but don't go to YouTube, because shouldn't be saying this, right? You're not going to find these videos. You might find them on YouTube, but you have to go to other, because a lot of these videos, they get banned. And then you can't find them on like the mainstream places, right? So if you go in and look up space bubbles, no, because when they're working on the the so-called what do you call that thing, ISS thing, the big satellite thing, you see bubbles coming out because they're in a pool, akhi. They're not in no space, akhi. Well, man, like I said, man, you guys can keep believing what these kuffar tell you. Keep believing it. Then they try to show no, but these aren't bubbles. You see, NASA tried to explain it, akhi, and it just makes them even sound even more stupid. How do you have a bubble in space? No gravity, no air, how do you have a bubble in space?
How's it going up?
Yeah, it's floating up. Go look it up, see if you can find a video on YouTube. Type in NASA astronauts and bubbles, I don't know.
They try to say they sent. Imagine this. How far Pluto, maybe on the other side of the galaxy, they said they sent a satellite camera with cameras to Pluto.
Yeah, but sent nothing.
Yeah, how do you think they get the asteroid belt, planets? Let's say they have these planets on Saturn, they have to pass through that. Maybe the gravitational pull from Jupiter. Yeah, you see.
You can't pass out of this dunya. It's abwab. It's in Surah An-Naba. I mean, what? Think about, go. What's the ayah?
I'm thinking about Surah Al-Qamar.
No, Surah An-Naba. Come on. You want that ijazah now? You're supposed to go get that ijazah. You got to answer these questions.
What's the first word of that ayah?
If I knew that, I would have said it myself, Akhi.
I know you're right. That's the thing.
Because it's not a like ayat that I do istidlal. It's just an ayat. Grab the Musaf that I read in Salat. No. It's too late, man. I already got the Musaf, man. You're going to have to let me do my job. وَفُتِحَتِ السَّمَاءُ فَكَانَتْ what? أَبْوَابًا. Alright. يَوْمَ يُنْفَخُ فِي السُّورِ فَيَأْتُونَ أَفْوَاجًا. وَفُتِحَتِ السَّمَاءُ. On that day that the Sama is going to be what? Open. Not for some astronaut going up in some NASA rocket made out of aluminium talking about he's going to go through 500-degree heat to pass through that radiation belt just to get... Nah, come on, man. Stop with the lies.
Muhammad and Jibreel, have you seen the Asr al-Mi'raj? They had to get a permission to be able to... And it was like the Prophet and the angel Jibreel. And these, they needed a permission to be able to...
Yeah, and then they open up the door. Yeah, we spoke about this before. You know, so you're not going to get, you know... You're not going past that. You're not going past the Sama' ad-Dunya. When the Prophet ﷺ said in the Dunya... Did you find it?
Yeah.
You found it on YouTube?
Yeah,
Well, let's see it.
Did you see it?
yeah, and then someone said, this guy posted, he said, can someone explain why there's two bubbles in this clip? Of this
Yeah, there's
space
bubbles,
movie?
Akhi. You actually see bubbles
Yeah.
while they're...
And then this guy says, because it is fake, they film underwater.
Yeah. These are all training videos. They do this underwater in a pool.
And then there's people saying that, oh no, it's just a piece of paint coming off the...
A piece of paint
Yeah.
With bubbles.
with a bubble.
And I would rather believe SpongeBob than believe that.
So, no.
I would rather believe a sponge lives under the sea with the pink starfish as a friend than believe in that.
Now, you
stuff.
really grew up watching SpongeBob, didn't you?
I mean, who doesn't know Patrick?
I don't know any
You
of
know
them.
Patrick?
And they don't
Yeah,
know.
you know Patrick. He says,
You know any of them?
Patrick?
You know them, man.
Patrick Star.
Nah, he just knows them from... he never watched that. You ever watched that?
And the
Huh?
squirrel.
فيلم
Sandy Cheeks.
What?
فيلم
When?
مرة واحدة.
Man, we're gonna have a talk later. When we get in the car, me and you're gonna have a father-son talk.
Why would they fake that? I mean, they would fake it to keep you busy, so that you don't have to like be distracted with the war in Iraq, the war in Palestine, what they're doing in Sudan.
Question and answer.
Oh.
So they,
You want to come over here?
No, I'm not gonna do what that one dude did in Ramadan, where he just came and he was just answering everything. Wallahi, I almost looked at him and said, Akhi, do you want to teach? Do you want to have the chair?
I'm asking you the same thing.
No, I asked. What? It wasn't even an Islamic-based question. That's why.
So no one's ever been to space at all.
No. There's no such thing as space, Akhi. Who calls it this? Who gave it the name for Allah? Who? Did you see that in the Quran and the Sunnah? There is no space, Akhi. Space, it means what? What does it mean?
Open.
It's an open area with nothing in it. No, and every single part of the Sama, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't create anything just for no reason. There's nothing in there. There's angels all over the place. There's no space. So all this foolishness about space, no, there's samawat sab'a. There's 7 layers of sky. You know, and each one has a door that you have to enter into. There's no just open space with no benefit, like just to say that there's space. No, there's this what we have, and this sama' ad-dunya, this is what we have. You're not getting out of that. You can try all you want, but you're not getting out of that. When you die, you'll go, if you're from the believers, then you go up. If not, then the doors aren't going to be open to you. You just get tossed back into your grave. But only the believers that go up past those doors and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells them to return the soul back to his body. And that's when you go back into the grave and you get sat up in the grave to answer those questions. But that's it. Other than that, you're not going out of this realm of the dunya. You're not leaving it. It's impossible. So they can sit here and lie all they want, but akhi, you don't believe the kuffar. We take the Quran and the Sunnah. Alhamdulillah. Anything that we need to know, and I talked to y'all about this before, and I keep repeating myself again and again, but will you listen? All right. Everything that you need to know for this life and for the next life is in the Quran and the Sunnah. Whatever's not there, you don't need. It's not important for us. And whether they did, whether they didn't, whether the earth is like this, if the earth is flat, the earth is a globe, if it was that important to know this way, Allah would have told us. And it would have been clearly made clear to us. So, now you have to look at other evidence, and then you can say, well, maybe it's like this, maybe you're not going to know until you die. When you die and your soul goes up, then maybe, but you won't know because you're going to be in a bag. So, you're probably not going to be seeing it. And Allah knows best.
Is it true that there was hadith that mentioned if a righteous person, if he dies, but he dies in the state of janaba, that the angels do ghusl upon him?
No, that was a Sahabi that.
But is it like for everyone or just that?
I don't know.
Sahabi?
That was a karama for that Sahabi. Because he died in battle in the state of janaba. And then the angels washed him. Yeah.
Min al-Muslimin, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen says, I think they meant in your book, not if your book. In your book of seeking knowledge in the chapter of learning.
You skipped all these questions, actually.
That was a good one.
Yeah, but you skipped all these questions. You like yesterday he said I'm reading the questions in order. Now he's like, no, man.
Or
Stop cherry picking. Read the questions. Go read it now.
which one?
Whatever you're reading, go ahead and finish it.
In your book of seeking knowledge, in the chapter of learning the Arabic language in phase 6, where you said, quote unquote, you will go over your notes at least 100 times before the next class. Here, did you mean just read your notes 100 times?
Yeah, read it over and over and over 100 times till you got it memorized.
Ibn Fulan says,
Hold on, yeah, because I'm reading that right now. He's talking about the concept apply to parents as well.
he typed this when we were talking about the
Yeah,
hadith.
I know, that's what I'm saying. No, you can't not talk to your parents for 3 days. If your parents don't talk to you, that's them. But you go up and you try to talk to them, yeah, you can't do that, Those are your parents. No, you can't. I wouldn't even cut them off for 3 minutes, You think about that. You sit there and stop talking to your parents because you're angry over some dunyawi stuff, some disagreement, and you die in that state. Come on, man. No.
Wait, they said, like, we got on the notes, should we keep it memorized?
Well, because you're already supposed to memorize whatever you're supposed to memorize before you go to the class. So when you're going to the class, you're taking notes and you're memorizing the notes. That's what the class is for. If you're still trying to memorize the book and you're studying the class, go memorize the book first and then go study the class. And when you study the class, you memorize the notes. That's the whole point of the class in the first place, is to get the notes.
Ibn Fulan says, if someone due to confusion sends salat upon the Prophet in the final tashahhud twice, does the person need to pray prostration of forgetfulness?
No. Inshallah, no.
Anonymous.
I hope you're not the imam, though, because if you're the imam, people are going to be very unhappy with you. Imagine sitting there at the shahud for like 10 minutes, this guy forgot what he's doing or what?
Ibn Fulan, no, before that says, Salam Khan says, if I make tawbah but I'm not very remorseful, then is it accepted?
No. That's one of the conditions.
Ibn Fulan says,
Condition of tawbah is what?
Al-Azm. No, and Nadama.
Now, first off, you got to stop doing the sin.
Tarkat.
Yeah. Then you got to have regret and sadness over the sin that you did.
First is Ikhlas.
Hmm?
First is Ikhlas.
Yeah.
Then the rest.
So, if you don't have sadness, if you haven't stopped you doing the sin, then how is the tawbah sahih? If you have no remorse, then how is the tawbah sahih? And if you have no azm, like you have no determination not to go back to that sin, like if you're sitting there like, oh, I feel bad, but in your mind you're like, man, I'm going to do this the day after tomorrow. You might feel sad now, but in your mind you're like, but I can't stop it. Then no, it's just, these are the conditions of the tawbah being accepted. So if you don't fulfill those conditions, That's not Tawbatul Nasuh. So Tawbatul Nasuh has all those conditions.
Okay. Ibn Mufrad says, what are your thoughts on the fitna of Abu al-Hasan I think Ma'rabi? How should student of knowledge deal with this fitna?
Actually, that stuff's so old. So old. Like, what are you like?
Who is this?
And most people in America don't even know. So I don't. You know who brought this stuff to America and started doing this stuff was those Noble brothers over there.
Noble.
I ain't those guys. And with the shit they doing,
Where?
man, just.
Oh, in Europe.
No, not in Europe. They people know who I'm talking about. But they're the ones who came, brought that stuff to America, talking about what's your opinion about Abu Hassan al-Ma'rib. Actually, people don't even know who this man is. And then they go, I don't know. And then he's a Hizbi. He's a Hizbi. They're like, dude, most people don't even know. And then they're going up and asking the people in Sardiya, yeah, come on. The people in Sardiya, like students in Medina, you think they know who Abu Hassan al-Ma'rib is? So, like, some people, they go and they ask the Sheikh, like, for example, so Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, he didn't say anything bad about Abu Hassan. Whatever, he had good thoughts about him. I don't agree with Sheikh Abdul Muhsin, but that was his opinion. So some of the students, they would go to Sheikh Abdul Muhsin and ask him, and then they would take what Sheikh Abdul Muhsin said. And then they would say, oh, you're a Hizbi. Actually, they don't even know who this guy is. Abu Hassan is munharif khalas min zaman. I mean, even after the fitness started, he got voted as the president of a Jam'iyyah. I mean, come on, Akhi, what do you... And this was, more than a decade ago. So, I mean, all that stuff is old, man. That's old. But that stuff has no place. It shouldn't be here anyways. These are not questions that should be a part of the doubt. The people should be teaching the people their deen. Don't nobody in America know who Abu Hassan is, and these fools running around questioning people, what is your opinion about Abu Hassan? What is your opinion about Abu Hassan? Yeah, what's my opinion about y'all? Y'all are causing all the fitna in America, doing all this back and forth stuff about people that nobody even knows. Yeah, deal with issues here. Deal with issues that the people are facing in America. Teach the people Usul al-Thalatha, teach the people the correct Aqidah, and khalas. These people running around, Abu Hassan this, Abu Hassan, that dude's been done a long time ago. It's been gone a long time ago. He's not been an issue. Wallah, he's not even a name people even mention in Yemen anymore. So, I mean, khalas, that stuff's finished. I think he's back in Egypt even now. I don't even think he's in Yemen anymore. He's not Ma'rabi, he's Egyptian, he's Misri. He's not from Ma'rib. So y'all need to stop calling him a Ma'rabi. He's not Yemeni. That guy has no knowledge. He's not a student of knowledge. He went to Ma'rib as a Quran, and he was teaching Quran. And then he went and he asked Sheikh Al-Albani questions, and he went and asked Sheikh Mubil questions, and then all of a sudden he became Sheikh Fulan, Sheikh Abu Hassan. Then he changed his name from Misri to Ma'rabi. Yeah, that's just a hustler. That's what he is. He's a deen hustler. I mean, even the Sheikh challenged him a long time ago. He said, I challenge him right now that he has not memorized Al-Arba'in an-Nawawiyya. Yeah, challenged him. He said, I challenge you. Recite it. He said, he has not memorized that because he's not. He was a Quran teacher. That's all he was.
This happened in person?
No, this happened over when he was refuting him.
What happened? Like, who is this?
Don't worry about it, man. Next question.
Anonymous says, Ustad, how was one supposed to wipe over himself in the bedtime of the card before sleeping and after reciting the three qul?
You spit lightly in your hands, you recite, and then you wipe over your body.
Like, how do you wipe over your body?
Wipe over every part of your body that you can wipe over.
Feet too?
Everything. It's supposed to be protection for your body, right? So you wipe over your body. Whatever you can touch, whatever. Wipe over your body.
Salam Khan says, Ustad, if another Muslim insults you personally, then what is the correct response? Is it incorrect to respond to anything personal? No, is it incorrect to respond to anything personal?
Man, Akhi, just go. The problem is man, like I said, this is this is an American Western concept of, you know, they try to make it like I gotta prove my manhood. I ain't gotta prove my manhood, not to a Muslim. If I'm gonna prove my manhood, I'm gonna prove it to a, you know, to a kafir or somebody trying to fight against Islam. But I'm not gonna try, like, what I gotta prove to a Muslim? If he insults me, he insults me. Khalas, what do you want me to do? Fight him? You know, just say, okay, Tayyib, akhi, that's the way you want to be. I mean, I remember one time, akhi, the best thing that I've ever, you know, the people from Hodeidah. Where are you from?
Bala.
Huh?
Bala.
Oh, Mr. Janubi. You should go to Yemen, man. Sit with Sheikh Rashad. You know Sheikh Rashad? Allah, ask your people, man. Got a markaz there. Ask them about Sheikh Rashad Allah. But anyways, like the people of Hodeidah, you know them, right?
Yeah.
And how are the people from Hodeidah? Super nice, right?
Yeah.
They don't get angry. They don't scream at you. Like, not all of them, but all right, let me be more specific. The people from Tihama. Yeah, good people, right?
Yeah.
So one time, man, I was on the phone with my mother. This was in Damesh, because, you know, the phone's very expensive, and I don't get to talk to my mother a lot. And what they do is they cut the phones off when you're finished. So one of the Yemeni brothers was speaking on another phone, and the guy accidentally cut the phone off on me. Man, my mother was just right in the middle of telling me something, like she's real sad, right? So, you know, I come out the thing, and I'm like, yeah, akhi, you just shut the phone off on my mother. You know, I was yelling, akhi. And he just looked at me, he said, akhi, barakallahu fi. And I was like, I'm sorry. You know, but the way he did it, you know, I was like ready. I was like, akhi, I'm going to take you out. I'm about to take you out right now. Like, what? You just hung the phone up on my mother, akhi. And I didn't know what happened. I just thought, like, you know, he just shut the phone off. I didn't know, you know, but instead of going and asking, I was still young. This was like when I first got to Damesh. So I was still, you know, 22 years old, still, you know, still like Mr. Street idiot in my head. Well, like, he did that to me. He just said, yeah, akhi, barakallahu fi, barakallahu. And well, like, man, me and that brother became like the closest after that, you know. But I mean, that's the way that you handle things, akhi. Well, like, he made me calm down just like that. I said, he made me feel stupid. And I noticed that every time that I got angry with Yemenis, they made me feel stupid. They made me feel stupid because they didn't do what? They didn't argue back with me. They didn't yell back at me. They didn't insult back. What? They just like smiled and said, Salli ala Nabi, akhi. Come on. You know, and they just like do something like, you know, to just make you calm down.
What's the ruling on that, saying Salli ala Nabi?
If the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioned, you Salli ala Nabi.
No, like if it's
No, but commanding somebody to do it, no.
That's a bid'ah, right?
I mean, I don't know if there's people say it's a bid'ah, but I don't
Usually
do it.
Egyptians. Anything slightly happens, akhi, Salli ala Nabi, Salli ala Nabi, Salli ala Nabi.
No, I mean, because if the person's angry, you should tell him, Ta'awud billah. Ta'awud billahi min shaitan. You know, that's what you should tell him. That's the sunnah.
I remember when
It's not from the sunnah to say Salli ala Nabi.
It was not from the sunnah. No, I remember when I was learning Nahu. It was in the very beginning stages when I was learning Nahu. I mean, I still am, but when they were over there and I couldn't understand like a certain issue, the sheikh was like, Salah al Nabi. And anyone he just kept saying. And I wouldn't. Because I was like, Wallah, I'm not sure if this is a bid'ah. Like, that's why I wouldn't. Not because I hate the Prophet, because I don't know if he's commanding me to do a bid'ah, because he's Egyptian. He's a
If you forget something, do istighfar. Salli ala Nabi, Salli ala Nabi. No, it's not.
Shaykh al-Albani, he said that the hadith regarding that when you send salawat upon the Prophet ﷺ, when you forget, he said the hadith is da'if. And then he quoted the verse from the verse in Surah Al-Kahf, وَذْكُرْ رَبَّكَ إِذَا نَسِيتَ. Ibn Fulan, he says, what was Sheikh Muqbil's view on whether the earth was flat or spherical?
What I remember, and this is secondhand information from a student that was there for a long time. He said, I mean, I could tell you exactly what he told me, the Sheikh said. He says, قالوا Sheikh bin Baz قال الأرض مسطح ونحن معه يا إخوان. That's it. مسطح, flat, like the earth is flat, and he said we're with him. We're with Sheikh bin Baz. So that's what he said. That's a hadith anyways, man. The hadith on the day of judgment, what is the hadith? How is the earth going to look?
Flat.
It's going to be khubza. Khubzatan, kal khubza. It's a round, what is a khubza? It's a round, flat piece of bread, right? So that's what he said, that the whole earth, because all of the mountains and everything is going to be destroyed, حتى تصير الأرض كالخبز يعني كخبزة واحدة. And another one, it says كالطبقة, like a plate, like a flat plate.
So Hazan was asked this, and he said, we don't have time to worry about this when we should worry about like the
No, that's the...
Yeah, and this the kafar issue. It's not going to benefit us in any way. So either we believe or we don't believe this, it's not going to benefit.
Well, like I told the people, stop, like, you know, the issue about this is not an issue of whether or not it is or whether or not it's not. But the issue is, where are you getting your information from? So this is the problem. A lot of people, they got like, you know, when we study geography in America, I don't know nowadays, but I remember when I was a kid, we studied geography in 5th grade. So you're telling me now you're going to argue with a 5th grade education of geography because of something that a teacher told you in 5th grade in geography class? Because once we go into like middle school and high school, we're not studying geography anymore. We start studying world history, we start studying economics, we start studying other things. Geography is only when you're a kid. So you're telling me all this information, I'm telling you us, like, you know, so I'm arguing with people my age. So the point, and I'm also talking about the, you know, even in Sardinia, that's when they study, when they're kids. You know, so the point is that you're taking it, no, because in 8th grade they start studying social studies. They're not doing geography anymore. When you study geography in like 7th, 8th grade, you study social studies, right? Never, like 5th grade was the last year I remember studying geography. 6th grade maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. But not even 6th grade we studied social studies. I remember because I broke my left hand. And I had to write with my right hand the whole social studies class. They made me write when I'm left-handed, you know, and they made me have to write right hand. And I had to write all that social studies. I can't forget stuff that I had to get punished with, right? So nah. But the point is like it's an issue about where you're getting your information from. So people they just get told stuff in school. They don't go back and research it, but they want to argue. Akhi, come on. You know, I don't have an issue with debating people with certain topics. But go do your research first. You know, go do your research for both sides. If you want to talk about a topic, read both sides. Don't come to me with something that you studied in 5th grade and some elementary school teacher who probably couldn't even teach without the book anyways told you. And no, that's foolish, you know. So this is the issue. The issue is about how you deal with it. Because if you're dealing with me with this issue like that, then how are you going to deal with every other issue that we talk about? Same thing. Oh, I studied this in high school. Oh, I studied this in... No, actually, come on. No, this is about evidence. If you want to talk about a topic, you research it. You know, like with this issue, and I won't give the people my opinion on this issue, but I sat down for 2 years reading evidence from here, reading evidence from here, reading evidence from here, reading from both sides. And I kept going back and forth for the 2 years, and I won't tell you the final outcome. Yeah.
You said you believe the earth is flat, right?
I didn't say that. Did I say that?
I think previously, I
never said that.
Maybe like 7 classes ago. Not 7, maybe like...
I've never said that. Go back and find it. I challenge you to find it. I said it doesn't matter. I said because it doesn't affect anything that, you know, it doesn't... This knowledge does not affect whether, you know, your Jannah, your Nar. That's what I said before when I was asked about this issue.
No, you said you're more inclined to the flat earth.
I'm more inclined to their evidence, I said. Their evidence is stronger.
Yeah. Someone says, can we actually do a Hamza question and answer series? Guy says, Salam Khan says, when we dream and we are sleeping, can our souls go past the earth?
I don't know.
That nobody says, what about my non-Muslim father? I haven't talked to him in a long time.
So talk to him. reestablish connections. And then when you reestablish connections, you tell them that Islam taught you the importance of family and taught you the importance of keeping ties of kinship. Yeah, that's dawah, you know. So, because that's the thing that people need to understand. Like all of our connections, all of our relations, especially with the kuffar. And then this goes back to the hadith that we read, right? You know, going back to the hadith about the Yahudi. You know, it's not out of like having honor for them for whatever they are, but it's dawah. All the, you know, every relation that the Prophet ﷺ had with the kuffar was what? It's giving them dawah. It wasn't just like, oh, well, they're cool and we need to mix with them and we need to understand their culture. No. He did everything that he did. Any dealings that he had with the kuffar was always for what? The purpose of dawah. So you reconnect with your father who's not a Muslim and you tell him that Islam has taught me the importance of family. Islam has taught me, you know, to keep ties of kinship and apologize for cutting off, you know, all the, you know, the ties of kinship. And then, you know, look at your father now. If he doesn't become Muslim, right? Let's say he doesn't accept Islam, but, you know, Islam has one less enemy, right? You think a person like that who hears something like that could be an enemy to this deen? Even if he doesn't accept Islam, he could never hate Islam. So that's dawah, akhi. You know, do everything like, you know, reestablish those connections with him for the purpose of dawah, and alhamdulillah.
من المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين says, regarding notes, says, should we specifically keep
Are we
the
still
notes?
on the notes thing?
No, it's
I'll
because
tell you what, we're teaching, listen, we are going over the Seeking Knowledge book.
No,
We're going to go over that in the class, inshallah, in detail. So,
no, I think they commented this when you were answering, but I didn't see it because I was, after I asked the question, I went right up to the chat so I could ask the questions before.
because he's cherry picking.
That was in the beginning. So should we specifically keep the notes memorized?
Well, of course, you're going to have to teach it, aren't you? Unless you want to sit here and teach from your notebook your whole life.
I think Amran /
This is going to have to be the last one so we can do Bulugh al-Maram, huh?
Could I ask, like, does it have to be in order or like an important question?
I'm going to answer one. All right, Hannibal said, can you make Tawbah for minor sins?
For all sins?
I mean, yeah, all sins, but especially like the minor sins, you have the mukaffirat, right? So the minor sins, you make Tawbah from them, but also you have things that do away with the minor sins, like, salat ila salat, wa jumu'ah ila jumu'ah, wa ramadan ila ramadan, mukaffirat lima baynahunna idha ijtunibat al-kaba'ir. So as long as you stay away from the major sins, the salat to the next salat, and all these things are the mukaffirat. Jumu'ah to Jumu'ah and Ramadan to Ramadan. All of these are means of forgiving your sins from one to the next. You should still make Tawbah, especially if it's something that you're like Musir Ali. Like, it's a small sin, because it might be a small sin you just committed once, right? So, you go you sitting in the masjid, you pray, you read Quran, you do some good actions, you try to get that sin wiped out, right? But if it's something that it's a small sin, but you're like, constantly doing that same sin over and over and over and over again, you need to sit down. You got to make Tawbah from that. I'm going to answer this question. I just scrolled to the bottom and happened to see this one. This is from, it says, Assalamu alaikum, Ustad, wa alaikum salam, ahsanallahu ilaykum. What are some good books, workbooks to practice Arab after studying Ajrumiyya? There is that sister, I keep mentioning her name a lot, but I don't know who she is. The sister from Qatar, Al-Khawari, Kamila Al-Khawari. She has 2 books in Nahu, but I can't remember the name of them. Can you go to Sifat al-Safa or Jarir? Go to Jarir. I can't remember which one still has the books. Just type in Al-Khawari. Type in her name and the book should come up. But she has one book, I think it's called Al-Wasit or something like this, and it's a book of Nahu. But it's kind of more advanced. It's like, because she's taken from Alfiyat ibn Malik. But it has a companion book where she does the i'rab of all the amthila, of all the examples of that she used in that book. So you get those two books together, but
What's the difference between Nahu and Fiqh?
hmm?
What's the difference between Nahu and Fiqh?
Nah, now who's dealing with the syntax of the language, the grammar, like how the sentence makeup of
Like Arabic.
Yeah, but fiqh is dealing with the issues, the masail. Yeah.
القواعد.
Al-Kawari. Her name's Kamila.
Nothing. Jadir. I searched it right here.
You gotta type it in Arabic, akhi.
Because it's in English. The whole thing's in English.
No, her name's Arabic. You go to Arabic bookstore and type the book name in English, man.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Of course we are.
I really know we are not getting somewhere.
Man, give me
It's
your...
showed Manhaj al-Salikin from Imam al-Sa'di.
No, she taught Minhaj al-Salikin. She didn't teach it, she explained it. Go to Sifat al-Safwa, they don't have it here. They have all her other books, but they don't have those two.
She a scholar.
Huh?
She a scholar.
I don't know who she is. But she has an explanation. I found out about her because she has an explanation of 5 volumes. She explained the Diwan al-Sitti al-Jahili, which is 6 poets from Jahiliyyah from the Mu'allaqat. She took all their poetry. This is a book written by, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's from Andalus. So he compiled this book of poetry from 6 of the people of the Mu'allaqat from Jahiliyyah, and took their Mu'allaqat and took a lot of their poetry and combined it into this book called a Diwan al-Sitti al-Jahili. So she explained this book in 5 volumes. And this book is so good that I bought it twice. And it cost $110. So, I mean, just to show you how good it is. I have it in Jacksonville, and I could sit around and wait until Sajid sends it, but I was like, I can't wait. I told him, Sajid, keep it for yourself. I had to buy it again. And just got it the other day. So no, I mean so I found out about her books from that. And she also has the explanation of Rawdat al-Nadhr, which is a book in Usul al-Fiqh. She did a very good job of breaking it down. So I mean, like I said, I don't know who she is, but her books are very beneficial. Huh?
You don't want me to. You don't want me
Man,
to,
where are the books at?
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, I win.
Where is her? Did you
Manhaj
type in her
al-Salikin
name?
again. Yeah, Al-Kawari.
Yeah, he go down.
It's the same.
It's not the same.
I did go down. That's the thing.
You didn't. It's right there. Al-Wasit fi Nahu.
I didn't go down far enough.
All right, that's the first one. Al-Wasit fi Nahu. That's the first book. That's the book, the first one, and the other one is called التطبيق الإعرابي.
وجدت قبله.
Huh?
الأخت وجدت قبله.
Huh?
في أخت وجدت قبله.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, I found it. It was
Now, you didn't find nothing, akhi. You sitting there looking at the first book. I'm like, dude, you gotta
No,
scroll
no.
down. You know, it's like they only sell one book. Yeah, الوسيط في النحو والتطبيق الإعرابي. الإعرابي. Yeah, those are 2 good books. But like I said, الوسيط في النحو, she uses Alfiyat ibn Malik. So it's a bit advanced, but it's still good. It's a very, very good book. But you can still benefit from the other one, التطبيق الإعرابي. What's up?
You don't want your channel shut down.
What happened?
Because someone's gonna report you if he says a nice, he likes to,
Wait, which one?
remember?
يوسف ولا؟
What's the name?
Wasif Dani.
Huh?
Wasif Dani.
Oh, no. Man.
You read it?
أسوأ من أبي الحسن. Oh, yeah. Oh, so that's what, okay. Because I was trying to figure out what Ibn Aziz ad-Din, he said he gave the channel a strike. Nah, he didn't give the channel a strike. He gave the channel 3 strikes. 3. They shut the channel down. They closed it. But then it was, I ain't going to go into like how, but, I think it's like Sajid, he contacted him. He didn't contact him, but he contacted another brother. And they removed one of the strikes. So we had to be on our best behavior for like 6 months out there. I don't know, it was like months, you know. If we got one more strike, they shut the channel down. But no, he got 3 strikes. We got 3 strikes off of one video.
Crybaby.
One video. Yeah, beyond crybaby, akhi. We're like crying to the kuffar. You know, going to the kuffar and crying to the kuffar. You know, about your Muslim brother. Yeah, akhi, come on, man. Well, like, even, I was against even, because, you know, what was it? Because the whole issue was like, hey, well, we could just go and fight it. I was like, fight what? Then we go cry back to the kuffar? Nah, let the channel get shut down. Akhi, we're going to make dua on this dude. I'm going to make dua on him regardless. Wallahi, I still make dua on him, man. Every time I remember this. How you going to go cry to the kuffar? Because of a mistake that he made, he wants to cry to the kuffar. And get our channel shut down. Yeah, akhi, come on.
Making fun of
that's a mistake he made.
The biggest mufassir to ever.
And he didn't just do it to us, he did it to everybody. I think he did it to Wajdi, he did it to everybody. Anybody that mentioned his name, strike. The empire strikes back, you know. Yeah, joker, man.
You think you'll ever come to Mashaqaba?
Huh?
You think you'll ever come to Mashaqaba?
Who?
Him.
He's not accepted. Think we want him here.
Automatic.
What?
Abdul Malik.
Yeah, well,
Or Salah ad-Din.
well, let them deal with him here. Alright, but now, we're on hadith number 1031.
Bulugh al-Maram.
No, is it 130? No. 1030, sorry. Alright, so this is when Amr ibn Shu'ayb عن أبيه عن جده رضي الله عنهم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أيما امرأة نكحت على صداق أو حباء أو عدة قبل عصمة النكاح فهو لها وما كان بعد عصمة النكاح فهو لمن أعطيه وحق من أكرم الرجل عليه ابنته أو أخته رواه أحمد والأربعة إلى الترمذي. What's going on, man?
Someone said, read the last comment. Just read the last comment.
I closed my phone. So.
The very last comment. Oh, that's a death sentence. That's not even. Oh, bro. Read the last.
You talking about a guy?
No, read the last.
That was the last one when I opened my phone. Which is the last one are you talking about? Who wrote it? Hannibal. Oh, Abdul Malik versus.
That one.
Yeah, that's a. Well, like, that's a slaughter, man.
That's a death sentence.
That's a slaughter. That's not even permissible. Seriously, that's not like, well, like, if that ever happened, I would start feeling sorry for homeboy.
I wouldn't.
No, I would, because he's gonna get hurt so bad that just like everything that I ever hated you for just left out of my chest, you know. No, that's not even permissible. That's not. Abdul Malik would destroy him like so bad.
Abdul Malik and Salah ad-Din versus him.
That's not even a matchup. That's
They'll
like
rip him off.
no, nobody would even pay to watch that. I mean, that would just be like brutal.
Watch with the red onion burgers.
All right. So, anyways, Amr ibn Shu'ayb. All right. So this hadith is da'if, and it goes back to the person who narrated from Amr ibn Shu'ayb, which goes back as Jurayj, Ibn Jurayj. So Ibn Jurayj, he reported it from Amr ibn Shu'ayb, and according to Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah, Ibn Jurayj never heard anything from Amr ibn Shu'ayb, nothing. So he's narrating this hadith from him, but he never heard anything from him. So this hadith is da'if. But the meaning and the hukum and the fiqh of the hadith, the ulama still use because of the meaning. The meaning is true. What's going on here? Did I turn this thing off? Is this still working?
Someone said Asad versus.
Man, focus on the hadith, akhi, khalas. Nah, man, when we're going over the hadith, akhi, stop. This is not important anymore. Alright, so here the Prophet, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أيما امرأة نكحت على صداق أو حباء أو عدة. So it says that any woman who is married with a sadaq, with sadaq is what?
Mahar.
The mahar, so her dowry. Al hiba'in. Hiba' is referring to what? It's anything that you give to her is ziyadatan ala al-mahar. Alright, so hiba' is anything that you give to her that's extra. Like, you agreed on this mahar, and you give her this mahar, but then you give her what? Something extra. Like, okay, look, this is the amount of gold you want. I'll give you something extra just because you're cool. All right, whatever. All right, so this is extra. He said, sadaqan al hiba'in al ida. Ida is what? Anything that is promised. That you make a promise to her that you will give her something else. Anything that is made qabla ismat al-nikah. All right, so all of these, the mahar, the hiba, the ida, all of these things are made what? Before the nikah. Before the ismat al-nikah, which is the aqd. All right, before the contract. فَهُوَ لَهَا. It means it's hers. It's not for anybody else to take. It's not for her father. It's not for her brother. It's not for her mother. It's not for her auntie. It's for her. Okay, so this is what the hadith is saying, right? وَمَا كَانَ بَعْدَ إِسْمَةِ النِّكَاحِ. And then anything that's given after the marriage contract, فَهُوَ لِمَنْ أُعْطِيَهُ. Then it's for whoever it was given to. So if he says, okay, your mother's cool, I give your mother a gift. Give your father a gift. That's after the contract. But anything before the contract is what? For the girl. All right. For the girl. فَهُوَ لِمَنْ أُعْطِيَهُ وَأَحَقُّ مَا أُكْرِمَ الرَّجُلُ عَلَيْهِ. And the most befitting thing that a man is honored with, as far as giving a gift or anything, is that he's given a gift for what? After he marries off his sister or marries off his daughter. So he said he's the most the most befitting gift that you can give a person is that, you marry his daughter or you marry his sister and what? And you give him a gift. Like, this is the most befitting gift that you could give. And to honor that person because you married his sister or you married his daughter. So, but this hadith is da'if. But like I said, the hukum is still alayh. But the hukum, it goes back to what? It still goes back to the, a lot of the ulama, because they differed heavily about this issue. Is this in all scenarios, or what about this? What about if he gives specifically a gift to the mother before the contract? Does that mean that this goes to the girl, and does it? No. So the strongest opinion on this that I read is that it goes back to the urf. It goes back to the customs of the people. So in Yemen you have customs like this, right? Whenever you're getting married, most of the families, they say, well, you have to, what's the custom? You tell us.
So, you have to go to everybody in the family.
Yeah, you have to give a gift to everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Or you give money or what?
Even the boys.
Everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, before or after the marriage contract?
I don't know, before. Sometimes, like when my friend, when he got married, like the day, like their khutbah or whatever, his mom took like pile of money in like small bag, and she was giving it to like little kids, the mother, everyone's,
Oh, they loved her that day, huh?
Yeah.
Kids running around, hello, running to the baqala.
Right.
Oh, it's not baqala.
Yeah, baqala.
Dukan.
I was saying baqala.
Dukan, man. I'm old. No, it's Dukan in Arabic.
Yeah, Dukan, but we say baqala.
Nah, but the proper word in Arabic is Dukan. Baqala is for baqala.
For Awan.
No, it's for vegetables. It's for bakuliyat. That's why it's called baqala. But Dukan is for the actual store itself, is a Dukan. That's the proper word in Arabic. That's what we always use, akhi. I didn't start calling it baqala until I went to Saudi. And then that's how they used to say. They didn't use the word. When I say the word Dukan, they're like, what are you talking about? Like the younger Saudis. The older ones, they understand that. But no, that's proper Arabic. All right. But yeah, so it goes back to the customs. Like you see, like this in this scenario, if you're in Yemen, you just follow the customs of the people. And it's up to you, akhi. You agree to it or you don't agree to it. So if you know that these are the customs of the people, and you go on with the marriage, then, akhi, then you're agreeing to those customs. So khalas, that's something, because the thing is, you can't say, well, I ain't going to give nobody nothing. I don't, but how are you going to look to the family if you do something like that? Yeah, you're right. You don't have to give them anything. You don't have to give them anything. But how are you going to look to them? Like, how if this is their custom? You're going to look like a stingy, like just, what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't want that. So either one, if you know that this is the customs and you don't want to do that, then you don't get married from, you go get married from somewhere where they don't have these customs. Is this from the Sunnah? No. All right. And what we see right here is that what? Anything that's before the contract is what? It's for the girl. You don't give money to anybody else. After the contract, she's gotten her mahar, then you can go and give out to whoever you want to give gifts to after the contract. And Allah knows best. You take one more hadith away.
Okay, just to let you know it's 9:47.
Nah, we'll stop here. Take like 2 important questions of this book.
من المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين says, how much does one have to know and study before they get married?
What are you talking about? How much you need to know and study? You need to, before you get married, you need to know the ahkam al-zawaj wa nikah wa talaq. That's what you need to know right when you're getting married, because that's the action you're going to be doing. Whatever action you're doing, that's what you need to know.
I think Amran Quran and Sunnah says, give some quick tips for Quran revision while still memorizing.
I put that in the book. If you got the book, I went over that, inshallah, and we're gonna go into all that stuff, all the thing about taking notes, memorization, revision, all of that, inshallah, we're gonna deal with in the class. Because we have the class. I'm going over. We resumed the classes today for the seeking knowledge. So we just finished like lesson number 19. So inshallah, pretty soon we'll be getting into all that. Where's your book at? Ibrahim, can you grab his seeking knowledge book?
Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to him?
I was telling him to get the book.
No, when you said, where's your book at?
Yeah, where's your book?
Oh, it's over there.
I know where's it. Yeah, that's what I was telling him to just grab it. I just want to see where we're at in the book.
What is it?
I just grabbed hand me the seeking knowledge book.
That's the middle one.
Well, you don't save the page. How do I know where you're at, man? You just rely on me to tell you what page.
No, I memorized it.
So we're like right here on page 58. So we got this many pages. Then we're gonna like a small chapter on manners, and then we start like the skills, so student knowledge, reading, memorizing, writing. So then we're gonna get onto all that. So like probably I would say like around lesson 23, 24, maybe 25 tops, but it should be like 23, 24. We should be in those chapters about like reading, writing, memorizing, and all that, inshallah. So just follow those lessons, because that way it'll be more detailed, inshallah.
That's it?
Nothing else.
There's more, because you said 2. من المسلمين الحمد لله رب العالمين says, what is the ruling on responding to Jazakallah khairan with you're welcome? I notice some relatives do this to me when I message them. I remember one time I told someone, Assalamu alaikum, and they said, how you doing? And I said, hello, to a Muslim, and he's Yemeni.
And I don't know. The problem is, maybe you can answer this question, because I never faced this problem until I came back to America. And then I would see like Egyptians, and I know they're Egyptians. I'm not stupid, Akhi. Come on, man. I can tell you're Egyptian from 300 yards away, right? You just have like Egyptian written all over you. And then I go up to him and I start speaking to him in Arabic, and he responds to me in English. You know, I'm like, what are you I mean, I'm serious. Like, are you that ashamed of who you are? You know, that he won't even, but you know, I know you can speak Arabic, but he won't respond in Arabic. And I noticed this with the Egyptians. I noticed this with everybody. Libyans, Egyptians, Moroccans, except for one people. Who? The Yemenis. The Yemenis, like when I speak to them in Arabic, they're happy to speak in Arabic. You know, they'll start talking right back in Arabic. But every other Arab, even Saudis in America, they will not talk to you in Arabic.
Oh yeah, they won't.
They don't want to like mix in. They don't want they want to pretend like they're American. Come on, man.
The word jeans.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what the reason for this is. Is it shame, or is it like people scared? Like, are they scared? Like, oh my God, you know. I think me and my kids, we sit up. You know, we go to the supermarket and I talk out loud in Arabic. I don't care what you think. You know, and I have fun anyways because when we go into the supermarket, it's like what, 90% Mexicans, right? They're confused because they're looking at me like, what is he talking? You know what I'm saying? They don't know what language we're talking, right? So it's just fun to like have fun with them because then I'll turn around to them and start speaking in English. You know, because like one time a guy came up to me like speaking in Spanish, my neighbor. He's just like, no, 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 no. I was like, يا أخي تكلم عربي يا أخي لا هاد يفهمش تقول. And he's like, oh, and I just kept speaking to him in Arabic. He kept speaking to me in Spanish. يا أخي, you be ashamed of this, but why?
Yeah, when I used to go to school, I had a Yemeni, and he didn't even know English much. Like I was supposed to help him translate, but every time I try to help him out with what teacher says, he just tells me to lower my voice, like, because he would get like shy and all that. They're like, they just get shy because you know it sounds weird when somebody who doesn't know Arabic sounds it, but you know, Muslim. Even when I'd tell them let's go pray, and like in class, there's that spot where nobody sits or anything.
Oh yeah,
because he's shy. But I heard a Muslim scholar saying, if you're gonna be shy in a kafar country, then get out and live in a Muslim
No, you shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah.
Because this, what I said this in the khutbah one time, right? I don't know if I said it here or if I said it in Jacksonville, but I know I said it in Jacksonville. I might have said it here once. I said, y'all came to America because you said it was a free country, right? So why are you so scared to practice your religion? Why are you so ashamed of your religion? If you came here for freedom, then why are you so scared to practice your freedom? Be a Muslim. Speak the language. You know, what's the problem? And what did you come here for? You know, most people, that's what they're going to say, oh, I came to America for freedom. Well, it doesn't look like you got a lot of freedom, Akhi, if you're so scared to, like, be yourself. Scared to, you know, but, man, subhanAllah, I don't know. A person like that shouldn't be here. A person like that who comes here, like, real ashamed and shy and everything, man, this society will eat them up and spit them out, Akhi, seriously. They'll turn them out, Akhi, they'll turn them straight out. It's not a society for this. This is not a society, like, you know, to play games with. This is a very dangerous society. You get caught up here with that shyness, you know, no, it's going to mess you up. Mess you up.
This will be the last question because it's getting pretty late. It's almost 10. Ibn Aziz al-Din says, Abba Saif, are there any books in Arabic you would recommend to read for someone who is a beginner learning Arabic so I can see how much I understand? I'm not seeking knowledge, I'm learning Arabic.
Books by Sheikh Salih Fawzan. You're talking about Islamic books, you just get books by Sheikh Salih Fawzan, Sheikh Al-Uthaymin, Sheikh bin Baz, Imam Sa'di, all of them, their language is very simple. You also get just children's books. Just get like children's books and start reading the children's books just to get the practice in the language. You know, just because it's real basic language, you know. But if you're talking about like deen books, yeah, Sheikh Salih Fawzan, his language is very basic. I mean, I'm not saying like read like Al-Malakhas al-Fiqhi or something like that. That's not going to be easy for you. But or his book on Fara'id. But I'm saying like read like, you know, his explanation of Al-Qawaid al-Arba, Nawaqid al-Islam, Usul al-Thalatha, things like that. His Fatawa, you know, and you know, anything of that nature. Yeah, it's simple.
That's it.
Sheikh Al-Uthaymin, his language is a bit easy, but he's real technical. He's real technical, so it's a little bit higher, more advanced. Sheikh bin Baz is like, you know, he's got an explanation of Al-Usul al-Thalatha. When I was learning the Arabic language, I don't know how many times I read it. I just kept reading it over and over because it was the one book that I could understand the easiest. So I just kept wanting to read it over and over. But I found like the explanations of Sheikh bin Baz, his Fatawa, and Imam Sa'di. Like, you know, Imam Sa'di had an explanation of Kitab Tawheed, had an explanation of Al-Wasatiyah. They're real simple. I mean, like, I'm talking about like the book is like that big. You know, so it's just like ta'aliqat. And alhamdulillah, the language is very simple. All right, we're out of here, man.